Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name is Tom Novak, and the night terror strikes again. Today is August 12th of 2022. It's 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. It's Friday. Thank you, Joseph. You made me thinking on that sterilizing stuff. What I mean by sterilize, when I get done working with my tools, I clean them. Not sterilize, clean. Now, the debate on Clone X or any type of rooting hormone. Now in school we learned that you're supposed to use a separate container, dip the hormone in, take it out. The reason for that is because when you're a landscaper or if you're a gardener, you're doing a lot of rooting. I mean a lot of trying to root stuff. And by doing that, you can get all kinds of dead leaves inside your hormone powder, all kinds of dirt, dust, and stuff like that. But if you're at home, why? You're careful. You're not taking no diseased plants or nothing. So a pack of, just as for example, a pack of Clone X like this is $10. So why waste? And it's not gonna contaminate it. So I put some in here. That's over $10 worth. And I'm gonna keep using it, and we're gonna see how our cuttings turn out. So I mean, if you're at home, don't worry about it. I mean, you're doing 1 or 2 cuttings, 3 or 4, but you're clean. You're not dropping leaves in it. You're not dropping dirt in it and all kinds of stuff in there. So, and then when you sterilize, that's if you're cutting diseased plants. Then you dip your pruners in there, put in the peroxide or whatever your disinfect you want. But that's so you don't transfer from one plant to the other, because if you cut a rose bush that has black spot and your rose bushes on this side are good, but then you go to prune them without sterilizing them, that fungus or whatever is still on your cutters. So when you go to prune your roses, they're going to get the same thing, because believe me, I got experience. When I was young, I didn't believe the teacher, so when I did on my roses, I spread it all. So lesson learned. Now the night terror strikes again. I could not, for the life of me, find my snow bush from Ted's. I found it all dried out. So, is it dead? I have no idea. So what I did is I soaked it in that much water for about 20 minutes to a half hour. So let's see what's going to go on here. So let's put this on the side. It's a Brene Distia Rose Pictum. Well, you've seen it on the tag. So the first thing I'm going to do is give it a drastic haircut like this. Get all the dead stuff off, and by doing that, you can see there's still life in this plant. Now this was dried out. I haven't found this for a week. I know it rained, so maybe whatever rain got into it, but for those last couple of hot days, this was dry as a bone. So soaking helped do it. Now I know it ain't got no disease on it, because all it was dried out. So what we're going to do, before I do anything, is try to take all this dead stuff off and just cut the best we can. Just like that. There we go. Just cut it. And let's put this guy in here. Scott, I don't know what I put your scissors someplace, but I got to use these for now. I'm cleaning up this mess down here, and I got a lot of work to do. Been running around like an up since 4:30 every day. Took the dog to the surgeon. They ain't going to do surgery on him until the 30th of August, so the whole day was shot yesterday. Doing stuff, running around. And then goofy arthritis ended up in the hip and in the elbow. So what are you going to do? You take your pills and go from there and try to get rid of it. So now we're going to take this out, and By doing that, I got rid of the earwicks. They're in the water, squish them underwater. And the roots look still good. I mean, they're still yellow. They're not like a dark brown. So I'm going to do some underwater root pruning because I know it's hard like a rock, but it's softened it up a lot because you can see all the air bubbles coming out of the root ball. So right now, I'm just going to underwater root raking, not pruning, raking. To me, it's an easier way. You see it a mess when I do it. And this way here, I think this is better way. And you're going to say, Tom, what about the bigger plants? Well, we'll do a big one later on. And if you remember my Victor, the red one with red flowers, I did the pruning and the planting, and everybody says, Tom, it's not the time. Well, you know, I know it's not the time, but you got to do what you got to do. And it's getting towards fall, and the roots will grow. And right now, in the microclimate, in the shade where it gets morning sun and afternoon sun, not afternoon sun, but evening sun, because it's all not the strong sun like the afternoon, it's starting to grow again. So I'll show you that, but I have to do the emergency potting on this guy. There, nice root system. And by doing it underwater, you don't make a mess, and you get all the soil off, comes off real easy. Real easy. Just like that. You can see our root system, how nice it looks. And then you can take, and you can always push them out. Now, this one, you can see underneath, this one has a nice, strong, I mean, it's a cutting, but it's got like a strong taproot right about there. So, I'm going to go into here and just give it a cut. You can see the thick part there. So, we got a nice radial root base. We can comb it out. Just get the roots more radially growing. Just like, well, you ain't seeing nothing because, Tom, you're not doing it right. Sorry. And you just comb it out. Look at that. Sits nice. Now, all this is green here. So I'm not going to take no cuttings. But what I will try to do is thin some of it out, because it grows up like this, and it only grows about 12 inches tall. So I'm just going to try to cut out some of the weaker ones and give the stronger ones a chance to take off. Just like that. Because this thing went through a lot of stress, I'm going to have to put it in the microclimate. I'm just cutting off the dead stuff. Just cutting it off. I'm just trying to fan it out like that. See? And then you go in there and you just cut off all the little ones. All the little twigs and branches. Because we want all the vim and vigor to go into our branches that are still living real good. There's one in here we can take out. Now it's green. Put that on the side. There's another one. It's got a cuckoo little twisty turn in there. Cut that one out. And that's still green, if you can see it. So you know this is living. Fanning it out. Now I'm going to take my hand in the water and take a lot of the stuff off the top so I can rinse it off. And that way there it won't stick on everything. So that's all you do. Use your hand in there and stick it back in the water. Give it a good shake, a good wash. There we go. Nice and easy. Get this. Wipe our hands. Hit this off. Get all the dirt off. Take that off. Take that off. I got some sand in here. Bottom. I got this nice and clean. If you're afraid it ain't clean enough, just give it a spritz. It ain't gonna hurt it. Then we're gonna take our rooting hormone, because I'm gonna use this multiple times. Let's see what happens. By cleaning your stems, you got no contamination in there. But we'll see. I mean, we're taught in that, but I think it's because when you're doing multiple cuttings, and if you got trees that you don't know if they got disease or not, that's what's gonna do it. But we're just going to take all this off, clean it off real good, just like that. Give it a little spritz, and we'll cut below the brain. Put it in our Clone X, and put it into our sand. Putting it into the sand is real nice and easy. And we got another one right here, and you can still see it's green. It's cleaned off real nice. Get all the dirt off. Water's clean. I don't have to worry about none, but there's no contamination. There you go. And we'll see if these roots, I know they were under a lot of stress, but I'm just trying to show you what's going on. And we'll see what happens, if it grows or if it doesn't grow. Depends on the life, but there's still green tips on the top, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Now, we still got a main tap root there. So, I got the pruner's J, or Scott, and I'm just going to go into here. Now it's pretty clean, so I can take that stump off if you can see it. There we go. And the root base is nice and radial. Tangled out. I'm not worried about the roots right now because I want this one to live. She went through a lot. She's still green. She's hanging in there. So, let's give it a shot. Bonsai pot. Old dish. Dollar, where'd I get this from? I think Target they were like, I think I got two for $1 3 years ago, but it's, look up, 3 years it's hanging up. All I did was a little soapy water, washed it down. Hey, you're done. So, here we go. Here's our soil. I got the Ted's Cactus mix. And Tommy said, oh, your trees are small. Hey, you got to start small. I start small. Where's all my trees? I give them away, or to people who don't have the money for it, or if they want a tree, or if Roy needs a tree for his shop, I'm glad to give it. So, with all these nice fine roots, you can see they're not dead or nothing. They're still viable. So I'm going to stick it on the top right like that, get it in. I ain't worried about no front or nothing. Now to get the roots off to a good start, I'm going to use my Mikus. Put it all over the roots. You say, Tommy, you're burning the roots. No, it's beneficial bacteria. And that bacteria goes in and attaches itself to the roots. There. It attaches itself to the roots. There we go. It's a lot of soil, Tom. Oh, I know, but we ain't done yet. Don't be worried. And we'll get this into our vine root system. The night terror, I got a white cat out there, and I think it's a she or a he, I don't know. But it's in there where my trees are at, and it goes after these mice, so that the rats. So I haven't been seeing a lot. So I got a couple of cats here. You know, the dogs chase them away, but at night if I see them out, I keep the dogs in until they go off, because you don't want to scare your night terror catchers away. Okay, now I'll give it a nice squirt to get the surface tension out. And you know, when you give a tree a watering and you got dry soil or anything, you're going to see that the water rolls off, but by spritzing it, see how nice it goes in? Mr. Elephant's doing his job. Look at that. Just like that. Hello, Freddie. Hello, Mia. They like to see Mr. Elephant. And the trunk is still green, so let's keep our fingers crossed that it, see how nice it drains? Let's keep our fingers crossed that our little tree's gonna take off our little snow bush. I'm gonna put this in here. Well, before we do that, what are we gonna do? We're gonna take, I remember this, my aunt used to have all of these, her needle in the hay pencils. So today is the 12th. Put it on there that we put it in. And these number 2 pencils, look. Nice. Not number 2, but the HB. Or is it a number 2? This one doesn't say. I think it's a number 2. Let me see what I got on here. Are the HB? Ah, they're number 2. They're good. They last long. I think they last better than markers. Markers are good if you're going to display a tree. There. Get that down like that. Now we still got some of the roots exposed. So, let's see what I can come up with. I'm going to put this on. Let's see, Tom, what'd you do with the... Still in the bag. Oh, here it is. I'm going to put this on because this will hold in the moisture and keep every stuff from digging into it. I don't know if you can see. Let me get the bag out of the way. Just like that. Use an old dish. If you can't find a bonsai pot, use an old dish. This thing's over 2 years old, or about 2 years old, and look how it held up. It was outside in the snow and everything. It held up. It held its color pretty soon. Amazing. I mean, it held it up pretty good. So, I think that, I know in landscaping school it says put it in a separate container and throw it out, but $10 for a little thing, and this thing's a lot of money. I think if I'm doing a lot of cuttings, like over 100 cuttings and dipping and dipping and dipping, I'm going to get leaves in there. I'm going to get dirt in there because I'm not going to be careful and cut it and rinse off the cutting. There you got to do by production work. So by that, maybe that I can see. But if you're at home, I don't think it's going to hurt. But we'll try. I'm going to use this container. This is the container I'm going to use, and I'm going to keep using it. You'll see it every time I do cuttings, and we'll see how long it lasts. But for if you're at home, I don't think it's going to hurt. Joseph made that clear to me. I thank you, Joseph. He's a great friend out there in the bonsai world. Good man. Very good man. Very knowledgeable. Okay, so these are smaller than the pencil, so you don't have to put no lipstick on. And that's our little one for today. And remember, today is Friday, and what's Friday? It's dance night. So grab your honey, your wife, grandma, Or Grandpa grab Grandma for a change. Say, let's go and put the old radio on and put some old-time big band music on. Sit back, relax. We'll have a cup of tea ready after our little slow dance and enjoy each other's company. If the kids are, once the kids go to bed, just have your little time for yourself and enjoy yourself. I mean, remember the good old days when you first met. Have a little dance, relax, cup of tea. Hey, memories. You never forget. Just like Mr. Elephant, he never forgets. So you take everybody, dance, cup of tea, or coffee for those who you want just cup of coffee, and that's it. So let's see if our snow bush will survive. I'll put him out there now. It's going on 11:15, so it's a little late in the morning, but he's going to be in the shade. She's going to be in the shade all day, and we'll see what happens. So you take care. Enjoy the day. A lot of work to do. I look like a bum, but what are you going to do? Take care.